Hello, welcome to Improvisations on Growth with Madhu Einsiedler. My name is Adina Arhire. I will be your hostess for this series that will explore growth and transformation. Hi, Madhu. How are you today?
Oh, hi Adina. Just fine. How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you, and I'm very excited to start this series with you. I'm very much of a curious person myself, so I have to tell you, I can't wait to see where this will go, especially since our topic for today is something fairly very simple like listening. So, are you ready for my first question?
Yeah, I'm listening. And the really cool thing is that I don't know your question. This is also what I really like to do because when with clients, then I don't know with what topic a client is coming and what their goal is for the sessions. So it's basically a similar setting here.
Within a conversation, we have a person who delivers, a person who listens, and the message in itself. Who has more responsibility in a conversation? The person who delivers or the person who receives that message?
What I'm hearing is a model of delivery, message, receive. I try to encourage my clients not to think in this model or not to use it because I find it very technical. It's like there's the radio and it's transmitting a message and I'm receiving. The question that I often get is who is responsible so that the message gets transmitted in the clearest, most effective way, right?
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that in this model, the focus is too much on the message. So let me rephrase this. What is the purpose of listening?
The purpose of listening is to connect with the other person. And why I'm hesitant to focus on the message is because this puts, for me, the emphasis on our rational mind so that there is something that we need to understand. And often this trying so hard to understand keeps us from connecting with each other. And I think really listening is a wonderful way of connecting to the other person, to get a better glimpse on how they view the world, what is important for them, and to reduce my maybe stereotypical views I have or preformed opinions I might have. So real listening helps me to get all the ideas that I might have of the other person, get them out of the way, and make a connection from human to human, really.
Speaking of this connection, what happens when one of the persons involved in the conversation uh, cannot connect? For example, I've had an experience recently where I just felt like I couldn't connect to the other person and I wasn't able to convey my message. Is there anything we can do in that moment in order to be present? Is it a problem of being present?
How did you know that you weren't able to connect?
I had a different conversation going in my head on a very different topic that didn't involve that person, so I didn't give 100% of my attention to that conversation.
Okay, so you were rather listening to the conversation that was going on in your head than listening to the person. With that a true statement?
Yeah. Yep. So it might
Okay.
very well be the problem only on my end. Maybe the other person was fully committed to the conversation, and maybe the person wasn't even aware that I wasn't. But for the purpose of training myself being present and focused, do you have any advice?
Okay. Well, I think the good thing is that you realized what you did. And a lot of people don't realize that they're caught up in their own heads, that they're caught up in their inner chatter. And this is actually a really good example. So sometimes we are so involved with a task, with work, with a problem, with a situation that really bothers us, that we can't stop thinking about it really. And then there's this inner chatter going on, and we rather listen to our inner chatter than to the person who sits in front of us. And the first step that you need to do, or that someone needs to do, and this is what I'm hearing that you actually did, you realize, oh wow, I'm caught up with my inner chatter, and I'm rather hearing what my inner chatter is saying than what my friend is saying. This is important because the next step then would be to actually say that, to say, God, I'm so sorry. I have a really hard time listening to you right now. I know it's really important what you're sharing with me, but my intention is now really with work, and I have a hard time there. It's always helpful to actually talk about where you are and how you feel, and this is part of a good listening skill to ourselves. With listening, it's really important that you know what you're listening to.
This concludes the first podcast on the topic of listening. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you listen to the following 3 podcasts discussing the same topic. They are all housed on Madhu's website, www.madhueinsiedler.com. And this is where you can also find Madhu's insightful blogs. I invite you to also follow and engage with Madhu on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you again, and enjoy listening to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th podcasts of our mini-series which focuses on listening.